The Eagles just pulled the trigger on a former Alabama star who somehow just got cut way too early. Plus, a lot's going on in Brazil right now, leaving A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, and now CJ Gardner-Johnson to be a little outspoken about playing in South America. Also, we got our first look at Jahan Dotson at Eagles practice yesterday, but injury concerns for Dallas Goedert have me a little bit worried. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Just 1 week from tonight, the Birds will take the field in Sao Paulo, Brazil for the NFL's first ever game in South America. And while the hype around this star-studded NFC East matchup on a season-opening Friday should be the dominant headlines, the situation on the ground in Brazil is not looking too great, leaving a pretty bad PR situation for the NFL. And while yes, the game is still a week away, things can definitely improve. Currently, it's just not the best situation down there in South America. For instance, multiple reports have indicated the wildfires currently raging in Brazil right outside of Sao Paulo are breaking records and causing a dramatic decrease in air quality with an increase in respiratory disease. With one reporter noting, quote, "The air quality of Sao Paulo has come down drastically. Many are forced to wear masks whenever they are out of their homes. Respiratory diseases are on the rise. Hospitals are now reporting 20 times more patients than the regular number. The situation deteriorated so much the environmental minister Marina Silva said Brazil is at war against fire and crime." And while I'm sure the NFL is going to say they have everything under control and it's going to be just fine and the security measures are going to be dramatically set in place to make sure everything goes on without a hitch next Friday, A.J. Brown and some of his other Eagle teammates did confirm yesterday the NFL gave them a pretty lengthy safety talk to not only the Eagles but also the Packers just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
No, because we had a meeting yesterday, and it was like a whole bunch of don't do's, and so I'm just trying to go down there, win the football game, and come back home. That's the best way I can put it.
Remember that with
Yeah. It's me talking to him and asking a lot of questions. You know, that was my first initial thought. But after hearing all this stuff, I'm probably going to be in my room.
Still, though, safety aside, it's pretty clear the Eagle players aren't too thrilled with the idea of having to leave Philly for a home game instead of getting to open their season on Friday night at the Link versus the Green Bay Packers, to the point that DeVonta Smith, he just doesn't want to comment on it.
What are your thoughts on playing in Brazil, going this great distance to play a game?
No comment.
Really? Not excited? You're not?
It's football. Just line up.
Oh, and throwing CJ Gardner-Johnson's tweet just a couple of hours ago this morning, basically wondering just how safe it is to be in Brazil. And again, the PR situation for the NFL, it's not looking that great. Although, to be fair, the whole, we're not going to be able to wear green, there's going to be armored trucks driving around everywhere, according to Packer running back Josh Jacobs, that was rebuffed by the NFL, saying, quote, "You will see a stadium full of fans wearing the green of the Eagles and the green of the Green Bay Packers," and Josh Jacobs' claims about armored vehicles were not true. Now, either way, the game will go on. I've seen a lot of people who actually watch the show down in South America saying, it's all good in Brazil, don't worry about it, just dramatic media headlines, and maybe that's the case. I'm not there, I'm just reading what's been reported. Still, though, let's just hope for a nice, no drama, smooth Friday opener where Philadelphia beats the Packers and starts the season 1-0. Now, of course, to get ready for that game, the Eagles were back at practice yesterday in pads at the Link and had a special visitor in Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy. They also got some good news on safety Sidney Brown, who does remain on the PUP list. He'll be out the first 6 weeks, but showed off the explosiveness as he worked towards getting back healthy in these couple of clips. He looks pretty darn good right here. Still, though, there were some players missing from practice, including Dallas Goedert, who's still dealing with an oblique injury, along with Jalix Hunt, and other practice no-shows included Johnny Wilson and Isaiah Rodgers. I think it's a little concerning that Goedert isn't practicing a week out from week 1. Again, nothing too serious here. Hopefully just a tweak and being cautious. Either way, let's hope Goedert's going to be okay. Now, also spotted at practice for the first time in pads was the newest Eagle wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, who caught passes from Jalen Hurts and later told the media he's been working nonstop to learn the Birds' new playbook in this very, very accelerated timeline to get ready for week 1.
Yeah. You started with a great point. It's early. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out my role in this offense. Really learning the playbook is my biggest thing right now. We still have a good amount of time till week 1. So making sure that I'm comfortable in the playbook and making sure that I'm able to play fast as possible. That's my biggest focus right now. Sticking in it as long as possible, being in it day in and day out. Even when I go home, it doesn't stop. Just so I can be comfortable when I'm on the field, and I can play as fast as possible. Getting those hours in with AMO is big for me, just because I'm so behind in the learning curve. But it's not only the time that I'm in here; it's when I go home. I gotta put it on myself to really prepare and make sure that I'm good when I get in here.
I've said multiple times that Dotson is the best wide receiver 3 the Birds have had, really, in recent memory. His ability to line up in both the slot, on the outside, make people miss, route running, run after catch, it's all incredible. My hope is the Packers are having a really hard time just game planning for the Eagles defensively, and Dotson is going to be a big part of that plan. Oh, it's not just me excited about Dotson lining up against the opponent's third best corner. Listen to A.J. Brown explain exactly why this is a huge opportunity for Jahan Dotson.
He has a big opportunity in front of him. I'm not going to put too much on his plate, but he does. And I can tell you guys, when I line up, I know they're yelling out 11 in the slot, 11 outside, and most of the time I'm getting coverage rotated to me, most importantly. And Smitty has his one-on-one matchups, and I don't know how they do with Smitty, so I don't really speak for myself, but I know they account for Smitty as well. So when you look up, I ain't gonna say you're not really worried about them, but they're probably not gonna put their best guy over there. They can only do so much. They only can do so much, and it's very rare that certain teams probably have three really, really good DBs, and so he has a big opportunity in front of him to he has mismatches all day, and and I hope he maximizes those mismatches.
How many touchdowns do you guys have for Dotson this year? Do you think he's going to be like 3, 4, like a typical wide receiver 3? Could he explode and go 7 or 8? Let me know in the comment section. Now, yesterday, the Birds made a surprising roster move by claiming former Raiders third-round draft pick Byron Young. Young was picked 70th overall by the Raiders in last year's draft out of Alabama, and so already being cut is not a good sign. The former Alabama defensive lineman is just 24 years old, though, and clearly how we saw a low-risk, high-reward option to learn behind the Birds' other group of defensive tackles. I did find Raiders Wire write-up on Young at least interesting to note as well, saying, quote, Young didn't see much of the field with the Raiders. He appeared in just 6 games as a rookie last season, and he was not making a strong impression this preseason to earn any more playing time. It wasn't for lack of opportunities. The Raiders clearly wanted to see if he could work out. He was solidly on the second-team defense interior throughout camp, and when John Jenkins missed a couple of practices, it was Young who was given looks with the first-teamers alongside Christian Wilkins. It is a little odd that he was a third-round draft pick last year, already been cut, couldn't make it on the Raiders' defensive line, came from Alabama, like these are normally really good players. Still, though, let's just wait and see. Long-term prospect here. I'm sure they'll get rid of him if he doesn't work out, but again, low risk, high reward. Let's let Howie go ahead and cook. Now, checking in with our friends in Texas and California, apparently Dak Prescott told the media yesterday when asked about his boss, Jerry Jones, that, quote, I stopped honestly listening to things he says to the media a long time ago. It doesn't really hold weight with me. Nice. Yeah, that sounds pretty good over there in Dallas. And then Brandon Ayuk signed his 4-year, $120 million deal yesterday with the 49ers. That apparently was the same deal that's been on the table for weeks, so not sure why he held out this long. Either way, he'll make an average of $30 million a year. That's $2 million less than A.J. Brown and $5 million more than DeVonta Smith. I guess this means goodbye to Deebo Samuel after the year is up because the Niners still need to sign Brock Purdy. Cap space, that's kind of a tricky thing. If only you had a cap wizard working out. No, he's our cap wizard. You can't have him. Again, Howie's showing off why he's leagues better than everybody else. And we have plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks as we, again, so watching it today on a Friday, are exactly 1 week away from the Eagles' home opener in Brazil versus the Green Bay Packers. Super pumped for that. Myself and Josh Davis, because it's going to be streamed on Peacock. We'll be streaming it live on both of our channels. Come hang out. Great watch party. We'll call the game and have a bunch of fun with you guys as well. Go Birds. Enjoy your weekend. This has been the Thomas Show.